You speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And our like sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, I
That didn't play
see.
out the way I wanted it to, but it almost worked.
Hold on a second. I see Mo Biggs is in the
Oh,
Mo
yeah.
Biggs and Crazy Mad. Let me do that for him.
Now, we're going
For
to
a little
welcome
bit, anyway.
everybody here. So, welcome, chat. Welcome, everybody, to the show. Tonight, we have Luke Stone on with us. We had some technical difficulties here just a few minutes ago. I actually got kicked out of StreamYard for a little bit and had to reload everything. So, left Luke hanging. So, it wasn't really fun.
Let's hope that doesn't
I don't
happen
know
while
if
we're live,
Yeah, I know.
right?
But if it does, they've been through these train wrecks with us before, so they've seen us do these things. So it's okay.
Yeah.
We'll say hello to the chat here. We got Crazy Mad in the house. Hail chat. Oh, we're going to get to this in a moment. We'll get to that segment in a minute. We got Mo Biggs in the house. Thanks for coming, man. Raiden Radio. Hail all. Crazy Mad says, Murph is glue keeps this train a rolling. I don't know about that. Unfortunately, Murph is sick tonight again. This is the second week in a row he's been sick. I hope everything's okay, but I don't know what's wrong. He's down and out. And so I'm just trying to keep it rolling right now. Keep this glue together and keep it rolling down the tracks. So we'll see what happens. I think that's Tarks9. Awesome, man. Thanks for coming in. I think this is the first time I've seen you here, so thank you for joining us. I'll keep jumping into these conversations that we're going to hit in a minute, and I don't want to jump into that yet. Give Luke time to realize his crime.
Yeah, I was talking about the hat. So last night I was wearing the pork pie, and they said just wear it back like Boy George, and so it was like, oh my God, it is a Boy George hat. So please give me time.
That's terrible to say about somebody.
My crime. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I used to be a good singer.
Right.
Not anymore.
Yeah, well, it didn't sound too bad. That didn't sound bad at all. Okay. So Crazy Mad always gives us a question of the week. I got my camera going out of focus. See if I can bring that back in. And he asks, let's see it right here. Question of the week. You have to save one of their lives, Hitler or Stalin?
Oh, that's easy. It's easy. We would save Stalin's life because there has been multiple times where a Stalin replacement has tried to come in. So, we've got one right now, who's tried to come in and, in the world trying to be like Stalin. So, but Hitler we got rid of. So.
Okay. So what do you mean by that? They're trying to be like Stalin.
Well, you got other people that try to step up and be like him, or whatever. We haven't had, the whole communist thing all the time, but we haven't had anybody come and try to like do full out genocide on an entire race of people.
Okay.
Since
I
Hitler.
understand that. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I would say, I don't know, man. I'd have to say Hitler, but not because
you just lost your entire Jewish audience.
I know they're gone. It makes me wonder though. Man, who killed more? That's what you have to ask. Who killed
Well, that's a
more?
good. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
So who are you
They're both
saving by
bad.
saving their life? Mo says
Yeah.
that question's easy. Hitler. Even if you stopped him from killing himself, either the Russian troops would have killed him within hours, or he'd have been hanged after Nuremberg.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, I
not a
hadn't
bad
thought of that.
point. Yeah,
Hadn't
that's
thought of
not a
that.
bad point. Yeah, I think Hitler would have died no matter what. Not too long
Oh yeah,
after
he's a
he
coward.
did. So,
Yeah, he was
yeah.
a coward for sure. All because he
I
didn't make
didn't
it into
really
art
have
school.
any.
Well, maybe not all
Yeah, yeah,
because,
right. I didn't really have anyone to put by Hitler. I considered Vlad the Impaler, Hussein, and Bin Laden. Oh my gosh, what a crew! Um,
Jeez.
I don't know. Would
That
you do
sounds like
any
the
of those?
beginning of a really bad joke.
It does.
Got
Well, one
Hitler,
hell of a
Hitler,
comic.
Stalin, Vlad the Impaler, Hussein, and Bin Laden in a bar. What?
Yeah, that'd be one hell of a comic book, don't you think?
Oh
Oh
man.
my gosh, that's like the
Yeah.
great start of a comic.
I'll leave it
Anybody,
up to you to
Rain
make that
Radio is a
book.
writer out there.
I'll leave it up to you to make that book.
Oh my gosh. Barrett X, hello. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you coming in. Yeah, so tonight I was going to share a few things. We had some new pages colored for Ballad of the Celestials. As you know, Ballad of the Celestials is still on Indiegogo.com. We're in demand right now. You can still back that book if you want. We are nearing 50% colored right now, which is pretty good. I'm going to have to put some updates up there in our page so everybody can tell we're further along. But we just got some pages back from Dio Lima, and I think I'll share those if I can. So this is just, I'm not going to share the whole page. I'll just share panels. So if you guys can see this. So this is just one of the panels coming through, which I'm happy about. Great coloring by Dio Lima. And yeah, we're really proud of it, really happy for what he's doing. And so Barrett X says, "I'm back, Ballad of the Celestials." Thank you very much, Barrett X. We just appreciate that very much. Thank you. We hope you really like it. Mo Biggs, I can't believe that joke got gate kept. The context is gone now, but it was good.
Yeah, he was talking about that. Sounds like Bancroft's Mount Rushmore.
Where's
that? Was a good joke.
Oh, I got to put that up.
Yeah,
sounds like Bancroft's. Always talking about the four that we were talking
Hitler,
about.
Stalin, Vlad, Hussein, and Obama in a bar. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mo. I was slow on the uptake, man, because I was talking about stuff. That was great. Murph would have jumped all over that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We both had good jokes there. That's true. Boom. Here's his. The bar explodes from a tomahawk.
We could only be so lucky.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, so I have that. Let's go over here. This is just one panel. This is another panel. I was just going to focus on Zune if we could, because I think she looks really good here. So we're having, we're getting these pages back really nice from Dio, man, and just really happy and proud of what he's putting in. And I don't think we could really ask for a better colorist than what we got. So can't wait to get this done. We're nearing the 50% mark, but it seems like it's taking a long time. But that's just because, Dio is very busy while also covering our book. And we give him about 3 pages at a time to color, and it just seems to be a long process. So, but I get it.
It does take a long time.
Why. Yeah, yeah. So let me get through here. Getting an echo in my ear now. So let me stop sharing this. So this is an update for all the Celestials. And right now, I kind of want to get into what you have going on, Luke. So
Sure.
You just, you've still been launching this. How long have you been in campaign mode?
Well, I got home in middle of January, and in February I decided to start launching like pre-launch stuff, and then we launched Let me see. I've got like 6 days left.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've got six
Okay.
days left on this one. So I
All
thought I had
right.
longer than that, but I don't. But I can extend another 25, and I think I'm going to, just so that we can make sure that
Okay.
all the backers can get as many stretch goals as we can offer. So
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
yeah,
So you did 1 month and you were going to do the other month. Murph
yeah,
and
I did.
I,
Yeah,
man, we
35
did.
days. So I've been doing for 29 days so far.
Yeah, Murph and I did the whole 60, and we should have broke it up like that, and it would have been much better for
Right.
us. And we just, one of those things you learn, as you go along. So let me put your page up. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, I'd really considered not extending this thing at all, but
And
it
why is that?
because just sheer exhaustion. I'm still recovering from a pretty lengthy battle with COVID, so I don't have the
Yeah,
energy that I used to have. And I was like, I just don't know if I've got it in me. But I
right,
think I
right.
can squeeze. I think I can squeeze out another 25 days and be okay. Just slow
Yeah,
things down a little bit. Just give every. I really, it's not extending it for me. It's extending it for everybody, for the backers
yeah,
and potential backers. Because once it
yes.
goes to in demand, I get rid of the. Um, yeah. I
Here I
once I
go.
go into in
Great.
demand, once I go in demand, I get rid of most of the perks, and so it's like there's just a couple options for the book, and then a couple of add-ons. So none of the special items and none of the
Okay.
um, none of the what do you call that, the stretch goal items are available to anybody after the campaign ends. And so I want to make sure that I'm allowing more people to get a hold of some of those things because they're really cool, and then also let the backers that have already jumped on to get more stuff added into their packages. So
Okay.
yeah, and
Yeah,
I
I
think I'm
think
going
that's
to
great.
know. I think I'm going to take a little break and then hit it hard again. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, man, we weren't suffering from any sickness or getting over anything like that, and it was still taking a lot out of us. So I totally understand you
yeah,
having to take a break. Um, it is a lot, man. Campaigning
yeah,
is a lot, and you can't really prepare for it. You just have to go do it, and then you realize, ooh,
yeah,
every night I'm streaming, and we're talking for hours. And
yeah,
next thing you know, your 60 days is up.
yeah.
So,
I was talking with a friend today who's got like 9 days left in her
oh
campaign,
man,
and she's over on Kickstarter, and yeah, she's still got about 19-20% left to
oh
go
wow,
to fund, but I
oh
think she'll
okay,
make it. I think she'll make
yeah.
it. It's a really cool book, a cool concept, and everything. So hopefully that works.
Dang it. Hey guys, I'm really sorry about roboting. If I'm roboting the whole time, um, I've been struggling with Wi-Fi. Something's going on with my Wi-Fi really bad, and I don't know what it is.
Well, the good news is you've already shared my screen, so
Yeah,
if your internet does drop, at least I'll have something to talk about.
that's
You know,
exactly right, man.
it won't be just like it won't just be my mug up there. I'll be trying on different hats. It's like, okay, Mo, what do you think of this one? All right, how about this one? Hold on, let me go grab another one. Yeah,
Right. Well, so Luke, I think what drew me to your book was, for one thing, um, the hybrids in the name itself got me because
yeah.
Murph and I, we have a story that's also going to deal with hybrids. Um, I don't know if you know much about our book, but
Uh, I I don't. I've heard about
okay,
it. Um, I've heard about it, but I haven't really gotten too deep into it. I think you were
okay,
campaigning while I was sick.
oh, okay, yeah,
So
we were a
when
little
did you
bit,
run your
yes.
campaign? When did you run
So
your campaign?
February through um, what we do? We ended probably the beginning of April. So yeah,
Oh,
February
okay,
through
yeah,
the beginning of April.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I was just
So
getting back into things.
okay, yeah. Our story takes place in the antediluvian era, so pre-flood. Um, so we can kind of mix it into whatever we want and have a fantastic time.
Yeah, I always
um,
like pre-flood stories. They're interesting to me. There's a lot,
yeah,
a lot that came out from there. I mean, obviously, kind of the basis for where my story starts. What inspired it is pre-flood stuff, but a lot of people's like, well, how do you? I think the biggest question I get is because it starts from that whole sons of God or angels, with the daughters of men thing. They're like,
oh yeah,
well, didn't they all die? I'm like, well, of course not. Joshua was killing the last king of the Nephilim, and that was post flood.
right.
So, yeah,
That's right. Yes,
yeah,
and it talks about giants and you know being grasshoppers, things like that. So it's interesting to me, and I that's one thing that we gotta look into a little more. But um, story as far Murph created a story, and for us it was more like where can we go? There's not much history written pre-flood, so what kind of fun can we have? And Murph is a big Lord of the Rings fan, of course, so
oh yeah,
he kind of used that as a way to make a great fantasy story. So it's gonna be fun.
yeah.
Hey, Immortal Rising comic book. Thank you for coming. Thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah, so tell me about the origin of your story.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the origin just kind of takes place. It was I probably at this point probably 15 years ago. I keep saying 10 years, but I've been saying 10 years for the last 5 years. So that's
Okay.
I really can't keep saying that anymore, can I? Uh,
Yeah.
so about 15 years ago now, I would have these conversations with a pastor friend of mine. We'd talk about that verse, and I had
Okay.
watched somewhere where they said that the Greek gods were actually just embellishments of these real life Nephilim, is what they believed, and they were
Yeah.
pretty smart. And they sounded like they knew what they were
Right.
talking about, so I was inclined to believe them. And and so I took that as a basis. Well, what if these Greek gods, we know they kept having kids. That's where you get Hercules and things like that. So what if they continued
Yeah.
to have offspring throughout the generations, and that DNA just got watered down? So
Yeah.
let's say it became like a recessive trait. And rather than have like a recessive trait where you would have red hair or blue eyes, you would have a recessive trait that, if awakened, could potentially give you the power to lift buildings, teleport, maybe
Yeah.
even time control, that kind of thing. And so I started
Right.
thinking about the Greek gods, what they were capable of, and then some other mythologies I started studying. And then I didn't want to just make a book about superheroes, so I
Sure.
started going
Sure.
into some angel lore, ancient aliens, conspiracy theories, and I started
Sure.
drawing a line between all of these things. And what I ended up with is this story called Hybrids, the Sons of Gods. So hybrids as in angel human hybrids, and the sons of gods, the genetic offspring of the Greek gods. So that's kind of where we get the title. And
Okay.
in the first arc, the first arc, Trash Day, I knew that I wanted to create an antagonist that that was kind of worthy. I always feel like the villain is always the best part of the story. If you don't have a good
Yeah.
villain, compelling villain, then
I
you've got a
agree.
crap story. So
I
I
agree
really work on my
wholeheartedly.
villains. Yeah, I really work on my villains a lot. And so throughout, like reading a lot of this stuff, especially like the Book of Enoch and stuff like that, I
Yeah.
was really intrigued by this one character historically named Azazel, who is
Yes.
credited for the scapegoat. When they talk about the scapegoat, that's where that kind of came from,
Right.
for first atonement and stuff like that. And it's written that he was the one that encouraged the angels to start having sex with women. I'm sure they didn't take
Yes.
much encouragement, you know, but
Right. I'm sure it
he
didn't
was the
either.
one that was like, "Hey, wink, wink, nudge, nudge," and
Yeah. Go ahead.
they all fell for it. He's
Right.
also the one that they accredit teaching mankind warfare. And so,
Yes. Okay.
and he's supposed to have the horns, red skin, cloven hooves, and a tail, which is what
Yeah.
Lucifer usually gets, right? But we know
Right.
that's not
Right.
true. We know
Yeah.
biblically Lucifer's the angel of light. He's perfect in wisdom, beauty, and
Yes.
music. But we also
Who's
know he's the
mutable.
deceiver. Yeah, we also know he's a
Yeah.
major liar. So,
Right.
so I was like, I bet Azazel gets pretty ticked off that Lucifer takes credit for all of his stuff, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
so, yeah, so I decided to make Azazel my bad guy,
Okay.
and so I take a lot of liberties with his motivations. But
Yeah. That's fun.
he's the one that kind of creates this global event. Like it's an event that's happened worldwide. It's global, not all at once, but periodically, where he's
Sure.
I don't want to give away too much of the story for people that haven't read it, but it he is the he finds a way to make this recessive trait wake up, and start to manifest with people.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and so yeah, so that was so then he starts abducting these people that are getting powers, and so we discover in the first arc why he's doing that, and then we work on the second arc, which is where we're at now, the killing field. Is the good guys have it's been 6 months since their last encounter with Azazel
Sure.
himself. They kind of ran away from him, which they good thing, or the story would have ended. He would have killed them all. So I got to be careful with that. And
Okay.
that makes for a real boring book. It's like, sorry guys, it's over. Uh, so,
Oh man.
but they are trying to put an end to the Hybrid Engineering Corporation, which is the front by which Azazel is working,
Yeah.
and he is using this corporation to kind of manipulate things. And he has
Okay.
some pretty powerful backers that they don't know about. They don't know who they are. But we start to learn about that in the next arc called the Lifeline. So I've got
Okay.
12 issues already arced out and written.
Oh, nice.
So they're ready to, yeah, they're ready. I'm just drawing up. I'm working on the art
That's
now.
awesome.
And so, yeah, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I do
So
believe
let's.
Azazel was the bad guy in the movie Warlock too. Yeah,
Yeah, I was
several
wondering about
people have
that.
used Azazel. Several people have used Azazel over,
Yeah.
in their stuff
X-Men
as
even used.
yeah, just as they've used Nephilim. But I
Hmm.
think I do it better than all of them. So you should read my book.
Yeah. Now, so our twist on the Nephilim is just a little bit different than that. Murph always hates that I talk about it because he's like, "You're giving away spoilers," but I really don't think so because we're actually going to go into ancient mythology of the world because if you think of Greek mythology or Norse mythology, why are there hybrids in every one of those
All of
mythologies?
them, every one of them. Yeah,
And so we're going to go back and try to explain why that is and how that happened, and
yeah,
what a fun adventure we'll have while we do it. So that's going to
yeah.
be
I
kind of where we're going with it.
I always like answering this question because I get
Yeah.
the same question almost every time. Uh, they maybe not. Some of them are giants, but maybe not all of them. And
I'm sorry, Murph. I mean, Mo was trying to stop me from giving spoilers. So
yeah,
I'm
I
sorry,
don't
man.
really mind giving spoilers too much, just because people might not remember it, and
Yeah.
touch of that spoiler might be what causes someone to take a chance on the book.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the way I address the Nephilim is like this. So the sons of God. The reason why they use that term and not just angel,
Yeah.
because angel means messenger. In fact, in the
Right.
book Revelation, when it uses that term angel, it means messenger, or is better translated to pastor. So when it
Yeah.
talks about the seven churches and the seven angels of those
Yep.
churches, it's referring to the pastors of those churches. So that term angel is very loose in that sense, where it just means messenger. So we know that there's different species of heavenly
Yeah.
creature, okay?
Well, then there's the
And so,
Watchers, which are completely different,
yeah, which
right?
are completely different,
And
yes.
that's out of Enoch. So that's a
Yeah, and
completely.
they were part of the sons of God, by the way.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
so so what the way we address it is that, different manifestations, these different kinds of creatures were hooking up with women. Some of them probably looked more man-like than others, but
Sure.
that's kind of where you get these different power sets. So
Right. Right.
some of them are giants, some of them have, just different kinds of powers because, the Greek gods had different
Yeah.
kinds of abilities and things that made them special.
Right.
And
And that's where you
so,
get the demigods and things like that.
yeah,
So
and so we
half.
explore that a bit. But, we are actually going to, in the next arc, not next, but the next arc, in starting with book 13, we start to play around a little bit with why there's centaurs and minotaurs and mermaids. And I've
Okay.
just got one phrase for you: angel bestiality. That's it.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of gross, but when you think
yeah,
about it,
it's
that's
gross, but
what else do you think about?
that's
What
what
else?
that's what it is. That's what it is, man. So
So
yeah, we're kind of dealing with some of those things with it,
okay.
but that's how we handle the Nephilim. That not
Yeah.
not everybody would have the same power set. Not everybody would look
Sure.
the same. That kind of thing. So you mix the
Yeah.
regular the human DNA with angelic DNA, and it's hard to say what you're going to get really. So it's kind of
Yes.
a lottery in
And that's, I
a
mean,
way.
that's if you look at hybrids throughout history, because like I said, a lot of mythology has hybrids. That's really what it is. I mean, they have a mix. They're usually like
Yeah,
mixed with men. So you get like a half horse, half man, half goat, half man,
yeah,
um, half elephant, half man. That's in
yeah.
India.
Yeah, all kinds of these things. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's really interesting how they do that. It the DNA seems to be a common theme as well. It's just
yeah,
kind of interesting how that comes up. When you talk
yeah.
Nephilim, I don't know how you can't talk about DNA, and
You have
I
to.
think it's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, because you were talking about the DNA getting kind of, well, you said it gets dormant, or it's got like a
Watered down.
dormant gene, right?
Yeah,
Like watered
it gets
down.
yeah watered down and becomes a dormant trait. Yeah.
So, um, does that mean it gets like weaker as you go?
Well, it depends. Okay, so it depends. In
Okay.
in my world, there's actually a lot of math that goes into creating these characters, believe it or not. So
Okay.
a true Nephilim. Okay, so to answer the question before, that crazy Matt had, and
That's
Angel
okay.
Bestiality will be playing.
Right.
Yes, I'm
I
sure
think
it
that's
will.
great.
Yeah, that's
Half bear, half
band
man.
name called it. Band name Angel
There you go.
Bestiality called it. Uh, so an angel or these heavenly creatures, they are created by God. So God created these creatures, and the offspring, the Nephilim, are the offspring of those creatures and humans. So
Okay.
God only has one offspring himself, uh, which is which is Jesus, right? And so we don't really we don't touch Jesus in this story. Okay, I tend
Sure.
to,
Yeah.
we're not gonna pull a modern X-Men here and
Sure.
try to, Jesus is Jesus, God is
Well,
God. Neither one of those make it into the story too often.
yeah.
We have to a little bit because of the nature of it, but this is not a Christian comic book. It's a
Yeah.
comic book. It's fiction, and it's a work of fiction, and so
Yeah.
we address it that way. So we,
That's what Murph and I do too. I mean, there's going to be we're pulling from some of that, some of the stories of the Bible, I guess you could say, but we're also pulling from everywhere else too. So it's not a Christian book. It's not preaching at anybody. Um, but like I said, it's going to use a lot of like real world mythology. And I think that's great. You know what I mean? It introduces people to a whole side of things that, some people are interested in, but not everybody
yeah.
knows about.
Well, we deal with the city of Atlantis.
Oh yeah.
Um, in my story, which is kind of a spoiler, but I'll tell you, Atlantis exists. Atlantis was
Yeah.
sunk. It
Right.
was sunk,
Right.
but the inhabitants of Atlantis are still there. They've
Yes.
learned how to live subterraneously. I guess not train
Right.
submarine. Yeah, I don't know.
Terraneously. That's an interest. Subterraneally, maybe.
Maybe I don't know. They've learned to live below the water.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
and so
Okay.
there's actually one of the mentions at some point we're going to bring up that the when Columbus describes a UFO in his writings, he said that it
Hmm.
came from the water. It came up from the
Oh,
sea
okay.
and followed his boat and went his ship and went back down into
Yeah.
the sea. And so it's like, well, that's he described a UFO, but UFOs in our world are not aliens. Everything that we like on the History Channel that says
Yeah.
aliens,
Right.
everything is attributed to the Nephilim. Everything
Right.
in my story.
Right.
So we start to lay some of those out and drop Easter eggs for that. Some of these weird, unexplained things in the world, we just drop that too. And
Right.
yeah, the Eye of Sahara YouTube.
The Eye of Sahara.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I
10
haven't
years.
really got
For
into
10
that
years,
too
I went into
much.
the rabbit hole. Yeah.
Yeah. Now Murph and I are starting to get into more of the Middle Eastern mythology, um, the Arabic mythology, because it's pretty deep, and
It
that's
is.
one thing you don't hear about here in America very much, is that culture and that mythology that goes along with that. Um, you get into it when people get into some of the deep fantasy stuff, because they pull things like the jinn, which we've talked about on here before. But
Yeah.
really, you don't know a lot of the things that they talk about there, um, and really how much it parallels um, Christianity and the Bible and things like that.
It really
Um,
does. Yeah.
yeah. So when you're talking Nephilim and giants and things like that, they have a lot of stories there, and it's really great to see.
Yeah.
It's pretty deep. So we've
There's a
been
lot to
following
pull from.
we've been following a channel called Mysterious Middle East. If you guys ever want to dig into some of that, Mysterious Middle East, it's a great channel to look up. And they really go into some really supernatural things, but um, I just have my mind blown on that show
Yeah.
so many times over. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a cool place to go.
Yeah.
And
There's so much out there.
yeah,
Um,
it's great.
yeah. So yeah. So about it was 10 years ago I was encouraged to. He said, "Dude, you love making comic books. You should make all of this into a comic book." And
Yeah, man.
so that's what I did. And I researched and stuff. I didn't want to just make it about the lore, but I wanted the lore to be kind of the world that no one saw behind it. And so, it breaks through. Um, it breaks through in the story here and
Yeah,
there. So there's Easter eggs to it.
right.
But the story is still the story. It's these heroes, kind of reluctant heroes, really trying their best to stop the bad guy and deal with this threat.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
cool.
yeah, so that's really what this story arc's about. I originally said, I would pitch it as 23andMe meets the Book of Enoch,
Oh yeah.
and people didn't get that very very well.
23andMe.
Yeah, the DNA thing.
I
Yeah,
don't know that.
yeah.
I wish I
23andMe is a
did.
thing where you can send some spit off to these people, and they'll tell you what you're made up of.
Oh,
Like
really?
your percentages, like your DNA
Oh my
percentages
gosh.
of like who you are. Yeah.
Um, so it's almost like you're doing your lineage or something, but it goes deeper than that.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, not a lineage. It's what your DNA makeup is, like where in the world you come
Okay.
from, kind of thing. Like Middle
Wow.
Eastern, European, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's what it is. 23andMe. Yeah, Google it. It's
Okay.
fun. I won't
Yeah,
do it
that's pretty
because
cool.
I'm a conspiracy theorist a little bit. It didn't
Yeah.
start out that way. I'm telling you, did not start out that way. It was when it was when I started researching for this book that I was like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe this stuff's real. It's kind of weird. But yeah, the
Right.
Nephilim are, there's so many different versions of and references to throughout history and different religious lore that you've got a lot to pull from, especially when you're writing a bit of fiction. And I think that all fiction is best when there's a little bit of truth in it.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, like I loved, you know, um, the movie Angels and Demons, and that kind of stuff.
Right. Arrogant Ape says I took the 23andMe and was told I'm 12% bonobo. My family's still
Yeah,
reeling. I love it.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
Thanks for coming in, Arrogant Ape. Love to have you, man.
Arrogant Ape's hilarious. Just it
Yeah.
drops in drops in that gold out of nowhere.
Yeah, he just drops it in, man. It's fantastic. I love these guys. Yeah, so I guess I could talk for days about all of this lore, and it probably bores the junk right out of everybody, but I can't help it. It gets me going, gets me excited. And I bore my family watching video after video. And one thing so you were talking about aliens, so you're tying Ancient Aliens in. Everybody seems to kind of say, yeah, you guys are doing Ancient Aliens too. And I'm like, actually, we are staying away from Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, no,
That's
I'm
You're
not
tying
staying
it
away
in.
from it. I'm going all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going all in. Again, yeah, biblically in those days, yeah, where it talks about giants. In fact,
Yeah.
I I get that question a lot about, like I said earlier, the pre-flood versus post-flood,
Uh-huh.
because Joshua hunted down and killed the last king of the Nephilim, and so uh, that was the way I deal with that. That was one tribe of the Nephilim, the last tribe,
Yeah.
so to speak, of the Nephilim.
Right.
So there there were different you know uh, different versions really, and
Right. Right.
the giants were one, and so we have a guy who's a giant basically, is a small giant.
Yeah.
He's like 7'4", 7'1", something like that, and weighs about 500 pounds, but solid muscle. And
Yeah.
his name's
That's
Clarence, but he
cool.
goes by Trash Man. He's a real gentle soul. But we actually start out the story in issue 1 looking through his eyes. Now, this the Killing Field part 1 through 3 is I do legacy issues numbering, so it's
Okay.
legacy issued 6, 7, and 8. But it
Oh,
is
okay.
the part for this arc. It's 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's really
Yeah.
cool. Um, yeah, it's interesting when you think about the Nephilim and what they could be. I think it sparks my imagination for one thing, but um, it they're going to be antagonists in our story, but they're not always going to be the main focus of it. It's going to move on, and that's what's fun about it too, because humans are also part of this story, um, and I think that's the thing, is tying that in. Um, but
Yeah.
the alien thing, it seems to be it seems to always be at the forefront of everybody's mind, and for me, I think it's interesting and I think it's great. Do you think that the Nephilim tie into that? Do you think they are
I absolutely
in?
do. I don't think there's
Okay.
extraterrestrial. I think they're
Okay.
all super terrestrial. So they're
That's
here.
interesting.
They've always been here. So that, I mean,
Yeah.
at least a lot of the evidence that I found for trying to write this book, this story has led me there. But we have humans, but there's a motivation inside of our team to kind of become um, the new Watchers, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Watchers' intent was they were intention is to come down and protect mankind, but they wound up trying to destroy
Sure.
mankind because of what took place. And there are those with this genetic lineage that are wanting to span the gap. We do introduce this organization called the Joshua Project, and the Joshua
Okay.
Project is a human organization that, just like it sounds, uh, they're the ones that have been mitigating the uh, kind of the sporadic rise of Nephilim throughout history, and so that's a bigger story that I tell later in another book called Forgotten Country,
Okay.
that is actually set during the Vietnam War, about a couple of guys that make it to this special team, and they think they're going in to do a particular rescue operation. What they're doing, they're going in to capture a giant. So yeah, so it's some cool stuff that I do with that,
Yeah, that is cool.
and that kind of stuff. Yeah, but
Yeah.
but but mostly it's about the characters. The
Yeah.
the world. I've put a lot of thought into it, but it really was
Sure.
just to be a back kind of the background for who these characters are and what they're
Right.
dealing with. You've got to know what the world is and where they're kind of these characters are faced with in order to best write them, and they start to write themselves after a while.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, and once you get your settings and things like that, it seems like they just, yeah, they take a life. They take a life on their own, which is really
Yeah,
great.
yeah. As
No,
soon as
I
I get
don't get
issue
to write
12
the
drawn,
story.
I'm doing the Vietnam Giant one. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
that's yeah. It
That's
is.
cool.
It's at the forefront. In fact, I want to
Right.
do it so bad I may just write it and pay
Yeah.
somebody else to draw it. So that it
Heck
gets
yeah.
done faster. Because I want to
That'll
do
be
it so
awesome.
bad. Yeah,
So
I just want to do it
you've
so
heard of
bad.
the Middle Eastern giant, right? During desert, I think it
Yeah.
was
Oh
Desert
yeah.
Storm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah.
great
And I
story.
I 1000% believe it. I
Yeah,
really
me
do.
too.
Yeah.
I do too. I don't know why, but I'm just in that place where I'm like, it's not just that I want to believe the fantastic. I actually think there's more fantastic than people want to believe. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
I always look at that. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I know I'll forget
no, you're fine.
the Yeti. Why
Yeah,
is it in the Himalayas that they've got masks for all these other animals that are real, and then they have the mask for the Yeti?
yeah,
Why would they just make that up?
right.
You know, they wouldn't just
Yeah,
make a
it's
mask
true.
for all these other animals and then make up a Yeti. Like that
Yeah,
just doesn't make sense to me.
right.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah, somebody had to see it or experience something, and that's I think it's super interesting at least. But I don't know. I tend to believe some things that other people don't. Do you follow some of the guys that hunt the giants, or they're in the caves, they're digging it up, they're trying to get the
yeah,
evidence?
I've seen it. Yeah, I've watched some of that. I don't
Yeah.
follow it too much
Okay.
because I don't think they're going to find what they're looking for. Quite honestly,
Not very much. There's really
yeah,
not as much as you would think.
not as
Um,
many of them died as what we think, as what we realize.
yeah.
And the ones that did, I guarantee their bones were used for something else. You know,
Yeah.
and yeah, so it's like I'm just not. I don't know if they're going to find what they're looking for. You might
Well,
find a
and
couple of intact skeletons, but I
mhm.
don't think.
Well, and
And
you
if
got
you
to
do,
think
the
of
government's going to stop you from sharing it.
yeah, right. Yeah, I wholeheartedly believe that. But when I think about it, I'm like with the flood, or with if they're going to die back then, even after the flood, and let's say they died before the flood happened.
Yeah,
After the flood, mud washes out so much, and you're not going to be able to just dig that up. It buries it
yeah,
pretty deep, crushes it sometimes. I mean, there's a lot of
yeah,
things that happen, and you know, it's hard to find modern things,
yeah,
let alone
yeah.
something that's been buried for who knows.
Mo has a point. The Yeti mask could have just been a bad artist rendition
Yeah,
of something else.
yeah. Maybe the
And
Yeti mask started out as a goat mask, but the artist screwed it up, but was too embarrassed to admit he made a mistake. That's a good story,
that's how
Mo.
goats look, right? That's how
It's a real good
you're
story.
like, what is that thing? Yeah, what is that?
I'm pretty sure the big feet are hiding all their lasting. Wait, after their last encounter with ARO.
Yeah,
Arrow might take them out. What do you think?
yeah. I don't know. Probably. Um,
Well, let's look at some artwork on your page here.
sure. Yeah. So I've got the first. Oh well, we've unlocked 2 stretch goals. I have to update this.
Nice.
We've unlocked this chibi patch that everybody
Okay,
gets. So it's an Iron Man patch that everybody can get. And then
that's
we've
cool.
unlocked we're doing an ash can that only the backers will get. It's the only way it's going to be available is for the backers. And that's why I
Okay.
think I'm going to extend it because I want more people to be able to get that little bit of collectible
Yeah,
thing. So we're doing one
that's
for
really
one of the
cool.
characters. But yeah, so I've got the first 8 finished pages up so
Okay,
that people
looks
can
really
view it.
good. And you draw all this, right?
Yeah, I'm the writer and artist.
Okay,
I do work with a artist that does the roughs. He does the layouts for me,
oh,
and
okay,
so that helps speed things up. I like to work with other people
yeah,
as a collaborative efforts because I like being able to have other people's creative input.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think sometimes you can get in you can get in a rut with the same things that you draw over and over again.
Yes, definitely. Murph and I, that's the way we work. I mean, I I don't do it all by myself. Most of the time when I'm thumbnailing and talking about roughs, um, he and I go over that stuff together, and then I'll finish it myself. But we hash it out. We take our time and hash that stuff out first. I think it makes the story better for sure.
It does, yeah.
Hey, good stuff. Comic Skaters here. Saw Mrs. Good Stuff earlier in the chat. Hope she's still hanging out. It's good to see y'all. Yeah, this looks great. The action's nice. I like that.
And lots of action. This issue and the next, it's like that's really what a lot of it is. It goes from one battle to the next, and it meets. So our antagonist Azazel has. They think they're laying some hurt on them, and that they're getting the best of Azazel and the Hybrid Engineering Corporation. What they don't realize is that he's the game master, and the game master is always in control. So he is been pulling the strings, and so he's got this deadly game of chess that he's playing with the characters, with the good guys, and so he gets them broken off into different groups, and sends them out, you know, to kind of weaken their numbers a little bit, and then they all meet back at this place called the Stardust Motel, and it's there's going to be an ambush. See, we know there's an ambush. The reader knows that. Game master. Yeah, the game master.
Right. Got to emphasize the M.
Yeah, you have to emphasize it twice. Game master. Yeah. So so this is a new character that we actually introduced in this book.
Oh, really cool.
So yeah, we're introducing new characters all the time, whether they're good guys, bad guys, or kind of in between guys. Mm-hmm. We introduce them. So,
I like
but yeah, so. Effect. Yeah, that took forever.
I'll bet. So do you color this as well?
I colored the cover. I did not color the interiors. I have somebody else color the interiors. Yeah.
Okay.
Patrick has been with me since the beginning, so he does all my interiors on this book. And then this cover is by Nitho Diaz and his wife Thaisa. She did the colors and he did the art. And very nice. Nitho actually just got a job with Marvel Comics doing some interiors. So I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to afford him for future projects.
Yeah, I'm afraid of our colorist doing the same thing. He's working for DC and Marvel, and then we're just like, oh man, please no.
Yeah.
So, well, we both have Eric Weathers lettering the book. That's good news.
Yeah, I was going to letter it myself, but when I come back, I didn't even want to try it yet.
Yeah, so, I tried lettering, and then we had Oliver, from 656.
Yeah.
And he saw something right away, and I was just like, okay, I'm not doing it. That's a whole different skill, man.
I was actually pretty good at lettering. Really I started out in comics by lettering.
Oh, okay. Okay. A little to the left, Ape. How you hanging? That's what I say sometimes. That's funny. Yeah. Oh, so you have the statue, right? The bust.
Yeah, we're doing a mini bust on this, but you could also, as one of the tiers, I'll send you the STL files. So if you do 3D printing yourself, you can print it off and finish it however you want.
Ooh,
but I'm having them printed. I'm printing them and doing the faux finish for the bronze finish on all the ones going out.
Wow. Yeah, I like that. Is that bronze up there in the top right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
that
one
looks
over
really
here is
cool.
bronze.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah.
And that's Trash Man?
That's, Trash Man.
Okay.
And the first 50 physical backers got the chibi sticker.
Okay.
So that was only available to them. I do a black cover with each one of the books in this arc. So this is the art that goes on there. Basically, it's a matte paper, and then they do a gloss print. So it's like a clear gloss toner.
Okay. That's cool, man. I like that.
Yeah. And so the next stretch goal, we're not far away from it. At 4,500, we're going to do a metal trading card.
Nice.
So But yeah, the
That's what
triple
we
play
did.
ash
Yeah.
can has been unlocked.
Oh, nice.
So
So you
everything
have
really nice.
Phoenix doing that?
Yeah, Phoenix is doing that, and we have the 2 metal prints available. So
Right.
the early birds, the mailing list people, had access to the 6 1/4 by 10 1/4 metal print of the uh, hybrid ladies. But
Okay.
everybody can get the with the tier, the regular tier. There's 6 1/4 by 10 1/4 Netho D as art, but we also have them as 5x7s that are available as
Okay.
add-ons, so they're a little cheaper.
We thought about doing a metal print, then we just decided to do a metal card. So
Yeah, they're a little more expensive, but
yeah.
it's
Well,
going to be
wasn't
cool
I
to
don't.
offer.
Some of it was the weight too. We were just thinking, well, with everything else, let's just keep it light this time. We kept our
Yeah,
campaign pretty simple, um, but who knows what we'll do the next time out? We'll see.
yeah.
Very nice art, man. I really like it.
Thank you. I appreciate
Looks
that.
very cool.
Yeah, I'm a little more stylized. I have a little bit of a some cartoony feel to it. Um, in some places, and I understand it's not everybody's cup of tea,
Hmm.
but I wanted to have a style that was uniquely mine. That
Yeah.
when people saw it, they're like, "Oh, that's Luke," and so it just developed over the years as kind of this hybrid of, no pun intended, this
Yeah.
kind of hybrid of art.
Yeah.
You know,
So did you ink all this too?
yeah, I did pencils and inks.
Now, do you do inks digitally?
I do all my inks digital for
So there's
production
something
pieces.
about that I'm noticing in a lot of books that when I look at mine, I inked mine traditionally and with pen on, bristle board. And I noticed the inks bled enough that in some places it's not as crisp as I want it to be. Um,
True.
and
You have to use a very fine point pen
yeah,
in
and
order to do that traditionally. Yeah.
man, it just really, some of it's bothering me, especially if I close up. If you zoom out, you're okay, or in the comic book size, it's going to look good
Yeah.
still. It's just, I think in the future, I
I'm
may
very
end
happy
up
with this.
doing all digital inks.
Yeah.
So,
I was very happy with the way this, like you can see like the detail in the underarm and
yeah,
stuff, the way that it turned out. And
yeah, I
it's,
like that.
very crisp. It's very tight cross hatching
It is.
in a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of those
very nice.
places. A lot of people don't even get to see the inks because the colors kind of, you know,
Yeah.
they kind of overshadow the ink work.
Well, if it works well together, I think that it
Yeah.
actually looks like a shadow instead of the crosshatch, which is
Yeah.
really nice. That's the
Yeah.
idea, right? So,
Yeah. It's finding that lighting. And I
hmm
use the cross hatching to help my colorist understand the secondary lighting.
right. Mo Big says, I wanted to have a style that was uniquely mine. If Boy George was dead, he'd be spinning in his grave.
Yes, he
Oh,
would.
man. Yeah. Just to say, good stuff's asking about Murph. Did you take out Murph? Haven't seen him in a while, Dirk. No, Murph is sick. Although I wish I would have taken him out. It would have been a better story. I should have made that up and just told everybody that, this is Duke It Out, right? Like, made it interesting for everybody. But no, he's sick. So unfortunately, Murph's been sick since Easter weekend, which is what, going
Yeah,
on 2 weeks now?
that's a long time.
Yeah, and hope he doesn't really have COVID or anything like that. I don't know, but
I hope not.
all I know is it's taken him out, and he said he was not up for the show tonight. So
Trust me, COVID sucks.
yeah, man, yeah. So I hope he's able to get back here next week, and we can start rolling along. It does
It
suck when
does
you're going
suck,
for
yeah.
Walter White, but get Boy George.
Yeah, it does. It sucks. It sucks big time.
Thanks, good stuff. Thank you for that. Dirk off Murph, so you'd be free to spread the spoilers far and right wide. I mean, it's true. I think if we're going to progress this story, we got to tell people what it's all about. Murph just says, "Well, we got a story," and then expects you guys to back the book. I don't think it's going to work like that. I really don't think.
I gave up giving away spoilers a long time ago. Because if I didn't give away spoilers to someone that's never heard of the story, then I couldn't even tell you how we got to where we're at right now. Because this is technically the 8th issue in.
Oh
So
wow,
it's
man,
like
that's awesome.
I gotta give you the abridged version.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're just starting, so we're trying to intrigue people, and I understand it, but there's a part of me that's like, I think some of the story, if you offer it, it would be intriguing and get people hooked.
Yeah.
So go there too, do that. Um, yeah, just tell us the end while he's not here.
So it ends
Unfortunately,
with,
I don't know that much story. He's gatekeeping it from me. So he says he has like 10 issues planned out. And I'm like, really, man? So how much do you know? Or are you George Lucas who doesn't really know anything, but you're making it up and then you tell the whole world you had it all planned? So
here's what's funny. I don't keep any secrets from my editor, my colorist, or my pen, or my any like, or my layout guy,
yeah.
and even like some people that I consult with, they know everything. Like
Oh
I tell
yeah.
them the whole thing. I was like, because I said I don't need you to be surprised, because you're going to help me reveal the surprises. So you
That's
need to
right.
know,
That's right.
that something that you draw in issue 2 is going to come back in issue 12 and it's going to be important. So it's important. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, the thing about it, Murph, and to his credit, he did have it all written out. He said he's lost some files, I think, like in changing over with new technology, but he has it saved and like it's
yeah,
not written out on paper. He has it saved in files. So he only lets me see scripts as we're going along, and then we'll
yeah,
talk about future story, but
yeah.
nothing,
Yeah.
not too far ahead. Let's
Yeah,
just
I
put
get
it that
that
way.
too. Yeah, I get that too. Uh, Sometimes I change stuff
Yeah.
that I've already gotten written. I'll change my mind. Like I changed my mind at the end of the first issue, end of the first arc. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I I just I kind of changed where I wanted to go with that, and
Well, and that's what
and I
happens.
just
I mean, when you work with people, especially me, me and Murph, we'll be talking about things and I'll listen to a story and I'm like, wait a minute, why that motivation? Why do you have this character doing this? And then we do something different. Or I'll have an idea and he likes it and then he'll throw it in. And so we've done
yeah,
that a million times. And it's, once again, it's part of that collaborative effort. I think it makes the story stronger and better, more fun. So yeah, it's
yeah.
good. Um, well, great, man. So where are you sitting at with this campaign? How many backers do you have?
Oh, we are at 74 backers, I believe.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah, so we've got 6 more days.
Okay.
I will be extending it.
Good, man. I'm
Um,
glad to hear that.
yeah, I won't be pushing as hard on the
Sure.
campaign trail. But yeah, we are, just over, what is that? 151. So at 45, we're going to we'll do the next stretch goal. And then I've
Okay.
got to figure out what we're going to do at
Okay.
5,000. So,
I think that
yeah,
was the
so,
hardest part for us. Those stretch goals, man. Like
uh,
figuring out where to go, what to do, what's going to get people to like, this enough.
yeah. Well, I had
Um,
planned out thinking I was only going to do the 35 days on this.
yeah.
So, realistically projected, I was going to make uh, 46, 48 is what I, looked like it was going to pull in. So, but now with an extra 25 days, it could be more than that. You know,
Right. Right.
it could very well be more than that. So I
Oh
need to start
man.
planning the next couple.
Yeah.
I've got some nice art coming in from Preston
Oh, good.
Acevedo, and so I'm thinking we're going to include that into the thing a little bit.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be great. Yeah. I still have like, I think 60 sketch cards to do yet.
Uh,
So, we are going to be, ordering some sketch cards for me and, we're going to get them printed up real nice. And then, uh, I'll start working on those. I'll probably live stream draw some of those and
uh,
get those out. So that'll be fun. But that's like the biggest brunt of the work that I still need to do for the book. And then just waiting on the colors, man. After the colors, then we'll get the letters and it'll be ready to print. So
yeah. I
it's
actually got all
exciting.
the files ready for this thing.
Do
I'm
you?
just doing the last bit of edits on the backup story. So
awesome.
I do backup stories for some of these,
Okay.
and the story is not. They're not always related. In fact, they're rarely related to the main story. It's something else that I've created that I
Okay.
want to give a little taste to. And so the backup story for this is a story called uh, Juror 13, and it is a detective who is who is dealing with a vigilante type killer that's going around and snuffing out uh, bad guys. Kind of like a Law and Order SVU type bad guy,
Sure. Yeah.
snuffing them out in very poetic ways. You know, very much related to their crime. So he's got a the papers are calling him Juror 13 because these are people that have gotten off the judicial system. They've gotten off basically because of a technicality, and yeah, so he's got to
That's
hunt
really
down this
cool.
vigilante. There's some fun twists to that story, and I do mean fun twists to that story that will keep the reader intrigued. So we've got the first 6 pages, I think, 6 pages of that story are going to be in the back of this,
Oh,
and
nice.
so yeah, so you're going to get a taste of it.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
hmm And then the
Well,
ash
great.
can that we unlocked is going to be triple play. The archer,
Okay.
that archer character right here. It's one
Yeah.
guy, but he breaks. So the three, that
You.
character is getting his own ash can. So he's
Okay.
he's going to get his own series actually,
Oh,
and
nice.
I've got a great guy working on that. A guy that's worked with that I've worked to half script out some of my outlines. Um, Shane Almond is working on it, and yeah, he's nuts. I know. Uh, but yeah, he's worked on the runner with me, and so
Okay.
he found out about this Archer character, and he's a huge Green Arrow fan, and so he he said, "What are you doing with the Archer?" And I said, "Well, he's going to get his own story eventually." He goes, "Who's working on it?" And I said, "Why? Why all this interest?" He goes, "Because I want to work on it." So he's taken on the Archer story, and I just told
Nice.
him, I said he's been unhappy with the Green Arrow stories so far,
Oh,
and
okay.
so I said just write the Archer story you want,
Yeah,
you
man,
know.
that's great.
Yeah.
That is really cool. We have an archer in our story, but he's going to be a lot different than that. Um, so that's really cool, though. I mean, I like seeing archers too because I think they're fun to mess with. Um,
Yeah.
really cool characters. And you have a chibi of that, or chibi. I don't know what you say.
Yeah, a chibi sticker.
Chibi.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was only available. We decided we were only going to do 50 of them, and it was going to go to the first 50 physical backers. So it was an incentive to jump on fast.
Right. Mo says massive Green Arrow fan. Why?
Well, I don't know why, Mo.
I kind
Why
of
do
like
you?
Green Arrow. I like Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Not the TV show,
Why?
but the
Why
comic.
did people vote for? Never mind. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
Why did? Why do people like dot dot dot? You know.
Yes, exactly right.
Yeah. And I'm
He
like, I'm taking
said,
advantage of it because I need someone to write my Archer story.
chibi or not chibi? Chibi or not chibi? There you go. That's what
Chibi
you
or
say
not
then.
chibi? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, hey, man, it's going on about, probably by the time we started, we're hitting about an hour right now.
Yeah.
Probably just a few minutes over. But
Yeah.
so I think your campaign looks great. I really want to
Thank
think
you.
about backing this book, that's for sure. If you guys haven't backed it yet, there's a blue light special tonight. Back the Hybrids, Killing Fields, part 1 through 3 on Indiegogo.com. So we got the blue light special on this channel. That's part of our lore going back a ways with Murph and us. Murph never heard of the blue light special before from Kmart.
Oh my.
So we're going to start making that a thing around here. Just so
I
Murph.
don't know how you missed that.
I know.
Growing
Yeah,
up.
we're gonna start making it a thing where it's gonna be, when we're highlighting something, it's blue light special, just so Murph doesn't miss out on Kmart.
Nice.
So yeah, tell us where we can find you and where you'll be.
Yeah, simple. You can go to lukestonestudios.com, sign
Okay.
up for my mailing list there. all of my pertinent links are there. Social media and everything is there.
Awesome.
And I don't have anything scheduled tomorrow. I don't think.
Okay.
But I have a Nerd Bacon, and I have somewhere else in the evening I'm going to be. Let me see. Where am I going to be? I'll tell everyone where they can find me next. You want to come hear me talk about this hybrids book again and, get silly. I'm going to be on with Amanda B.
Oh, nice.
At 9 p.m. Eastern on Thursday.
Okay.
And then on Saturday at 8 p.m., I'm going to be on the Fusebox Engaged live stream. So that's my schedule so far this week. And then I also have a show called Nerd Bacon that we do Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern. So we have yet to get a Mo Biggs in the chats over there. So I'm feeling a little left out.
Oh, man. Okay,
but,
Mo.
I will wear. Yeah, I mean, you've got to come shame me for wearing the hat.
Yeah, yeah. At least do that. Jeesh. Well, very cool, Luke. I just appreciate you coming on here, man. It was fine. It was great finally, get to meet you, talk to you, and talk to you about your book, because I've seen it for a while around, and I've been intrigued about it ever since I saw it. And I think it's really interesting how we have a lot of similarities in the story. I have to get you and Murph to talk. So
I think it'll be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys will have a lot to talk about. So if you guys haven't backed Ballad of the Celestials, now on in demand at Indiegogo.com, go check that out. And you can always catch me on Twitter. It's Dirk at DRock. And then if you go on, you can see Kevin Murphy. I think it's KJ Murphy 518. He's pretty easy to find. And every Tuesday here, you'll see our show, Murph and Dirk Duke It Out. And guys, thank you for stopping by. I say a few more things here. Make it nerd steak.
Yeah.
Time for me to activate my
show.
Yeah.
We're going to make it an afternoon show once and call it Nerd Burger.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Alt account, no bigs. Oh man, look at that. Now the chat's starting to fire up. Here we go. And we're starting to get off here. So, well, hey guys, we want to thank you so much for dropping in. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully Murph will be healthy again and he'll be on the show with me. We'll see. But, if you guys keep him in your thoughts or prayers or whatever, that would be great. So everybody have a great week. See you next week.